What do people need to stop romanticizing? Not needing 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I'm amazed this is as far down as it is. So many people treat not sleeping as a badge of honor. In reality, the science is pretty clear in this, that getting less than 7 hours impairs your cognitive functioning and productivity. A lot of sleep-deprived people dispute that, but those in a sleep-deprived state aren't reliable evaluators of their own performance. If you actually can't function in the morning without coffee, you're probably not getting enough sleep. And yes, that's a lot of people. If you want to learn more about this, there's an excellent book titled Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, a world-leading neuroscientist and sleep expert. He's also done some podcasts if that's more your interest. I get shit on so much for having a very strict sleep schedule. If I get less than 7 hours I have trouble focusing and keeping up with my job. If I get anything less than 6 I may as well start going into work drunk because you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference without a breathalyzer. War. For real. I saw an ad the other day that I thought was for Call of Duty at first. Turns out it's for the army. I don't remember the name of the person, but he quoted that battle is the most magnificent competition in which a human being can indulge. It brings out all that is best and it removes all that is base. Chronic illness or life-altering disease. People glamorize being sick in books and movies as a lesson in strength, positive outlook, and acceptance. Great values to learn, but it completely ignores the constant pain, isolation, and fear that sick people face daily. People pass around feel-good stories about inspiring people living their lives to the fullest while terminally or forever ill to make healthy and able-bodied people feel grateful for what they have. I, nor anyone else in this community that I know, don't want to be your positive inspiration, Paul. This life is hard and we wouldn't choose it, so stop using it for stories/media that you get to be emotional over then walk away from. Not just illness either. Myself and a few others in my friends' circle are going blind. A former co-worker of mine has never seen her daughter's face as anything but a misshapen blob of color. I've lost 2 of my hobbies due to failing sight, and I'm struggling to keep hold of the others. Yet somehow, this crippling loss of a very important sense is somehow brave, strong and inspirational. If any of us express anger, bitterness, or depression over it, we're told to buck up, it could be worse. Yes, it could be, and it will be eventually. Shit, as someone also chronically ill, this strikes depressingly true. It's such a shitty thing I usually avoid telling people until I absolutely have to, or they notice my brave face isn't doing so good. A simple thing like being asked how are you, even becomes difficult. Sure, no one cares when they say it, but I'm sure as hell not fine and well. I'd rather not burden people with the real answer. Though the stingiest thing you brought up has to be the comparisons to other people. I'm a firm believer that no one wins the suffering Olympics and we only know our own pain fully, but fuck me does it piss me off when I see something like the guy with no legs doing pull-ups with a subtitle "What's your excuse?" Know that unlike in math, 2 negatives do not make a positive. In other words, 2 imperfect people do not magically make a perfect relationship. So many people refuse to be single and do some self-work before getting into a relationship. I've dated so many guys who were not over an ex or needed therapy, not a girlfriend. Serial killers. This makes me really ashamed, but I fell down the Columbine rabbit hole when I was a young, troubled kid. Basically, it's a fandom for the Columbine shooters. I was struggling with my mental health and the idea of killing the people who were putting me through so much shit gave me catharsis. I even wrote a letter to Kip Kinkle, a man who shot up his high school a year before the Columbine shooting. I really poured my heart out, and explained everything I was going through. I didn't expect him to write back, but he did. He told me that he usually didn't write back to minors, but that he thought it was important to tell me that everything was going to get better someday. He explained how he got the treatment he needed for his mental health issues in prison and even got a good education and a job within the prison, and was living a pretty good life there, despite serving a life sentence. He said that he really cared about me and wanted me to succeed in life, and asked me to reach out and get help. I was floored. No one had ever cared that much about me before. Needless to say, I left that fandom and got help, and I stopped romanticizing the idea of violence. When a literal school shooter tells you that shit isn't cool, you know that shit isn't cool. Edit. Wow, this was unexpected. I'm glad that my story was able to resonate with so many people. I figured I'd give a bit of an update, since my story doesn't really cover what happens after I left the fandom. I initially got involved with the fandom my freshman year of high school, and left it my sophomore year of high school. I'm currently 3 years into college now. After my correspondence with Kinkle, I basically did a 180 and left the Columbine community, and I sought help. I was previously in therapy, but I hadn't been very truthful with my therapist. The idea of actually showing my true self and bearing my emotions was scary, but I did it anyway, and it helped. I started making friends at my school. Sophomore year I moved to a new school, joining clubs, thinking about the future, etc. I started drawing and writing a lot, which was a great way to channel a lot of my negative feelings, and when I was feeling too drained to be creative, listening to music never failed. My home life was pretty bad, since my stepdad was abusive, and only getting more abusive as the years went on, but eventually I graduated, moved away to college, and never went back home. I'd be lying if I said that I've fully recovered from everything and become a well-adapted, well-functioning adult human, but really, who among us can really claim to be? The road to recovery is bumpy, and it sure as hell isn't a straight path, but as long as you keep moving, no matter how slow, well, at least you're moving. And please, if you're struggling, don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. You're not weak for doing so, you're strong, and I'm proud of you. I can't even comprehend that. I understand the curiosity, but the fan mails and brides of serial killers is beyond my level. Stalking. In movies, if person A likes person B, it becomes okay to stalk them like crazy, showing up uninvited to profess their love. In reality, that's totally creepy and illegal. The issue is that people without experience doing these things in real life see the movies and emulate what they see. Absolutely. I had a stalker before lockdown here, and even me explicitly telling him I was afraid of him did nothing to stop him. Thankfully haven't seen him since COVID shut everything down. There is nothing romantic about being stopped in the street every day and seeing him drive past your house. I always found this especially in things like rom-coms. One person instantly knows they are destined to be together, so they follow them around. It's supposed to be viewed as romantic. If I did half of what they do in real life, I would be hit with a restraining order and reported to the police for stalking. Stalkers. When a person says they are not interested in you, walk away. They are not playing hard to get. They are not pretending. They are not sending mixed messages. Don't follow them around. Don't call/message/email them. Don't accidentally run into them at different places. Don't make them socialize with you. No matter how hard Hollywood tries to sell it, there is nothing romantic about a guy who can't take rejection or understand and accept the word no. It is seriously fucked up what all of these Netflix originals this past year did to young girls. So many girls on my social medias, teenagers like me FFS, literally prayed to have an attractive grown man kidnap them, just like that fucking movie 365 Days or whatever. Sports injuries. Like, 99% of the time it will get better, but 99% of the time you won't be able to come back to where you once was as an athlete. No matter how heroically you will try to recover or fight this injury, most of the time it will never be the same again. I injured my knee a long time ago, and it has never been the same ever again, and everybody told me to try harder. That's just not how it works. Same, tore my ankle, and gave up wrestling and MMA. Still does jiu-jitsu but will never be as good as I was. It's mostly mental for me, the knowledge that the knee is not as strong as it was and the long rehab and the accumulation another knee injury will make is holding me back. Not worth it long term. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.